Has this cycle been beating the living crap out of your altcoin bags? Welcome to the party, pal. We've all been waiting for the glorious altcoin, or anything to happen with our altcoins. Just some random coin, the one you've been holding on to for a while, just boom, explodes. Screw you, boss, I'm not coming into work today. Instead, you're still stuck kissing your boss's ass. And yet, it's tempting to just close your eyes and try to catch that coin that's down 30%. It has to bounce now. Right? Well, it could just go to zero. In fact, a lot of coins are basically already done for the cycle and won't come back. So let's pull up the charts, zoom out, and talk about a safer way to place your bids and the future for altcoin pumps. And yes, the peace pump is nice to see. Your bags are now down only 85% instead of 90%. Thanks, Donald. Stick around to the end because I have some good news about your underwater altcoin bags too. Altcoins will pump. They will definitely have their moment in the sun, but you might have to be more selective than before. Look, we can't control what world leaders do. We can't predict Trump's next tweet or conflict. We can only guess what the Fed's gonna do. Does it even matter anymore? Probably not. One day the market's tanking because bombers are bringing freedom to another country. Freedom, man, America, let's go. Then Trump's announcing a ceasefire and we're off to the races, pumping like wild. It's a crazy roller coaster, man. However, aside from keeping up with the news, we can also look at the charts for clues. Try to rely on some actual data here versus just watching what Trump tweets. The first stop is the others.d chart, which is short for the total market cap, excluding the top 10 coins dominance. It's a lot. But basically, everything outside the top 10, how dominant are they as a force collectively in the market? It shows how much dominance the smaller altcoins have without being skewed by the bigger players like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which capture 70% of the market between the two of them. In simple terms, if this chart is climbing, it means capital is rotating into lower cap coins beyond the top 10. If it's dropping, the market's still playing it safe, sticking to the majors, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, etc. Right now, the trend still heading down. Momentum still weak, and yeah, we're having a slight bounce right now, but no major breakout yet. No major rotation yet. That means altcoins are still underperforming. And yeah, I know, again, we've had some nice little pumps in the last few days, sure, but zoom out. Okay, you're gonna notice a clear horizontal support between 5 and 6% dominance. Every time the others dominance hits that level, altcoins bounce hard. In fact, that support level marked the kickoff to the 2021 altcoin season. The one where you could basically close your eyes, throw money at any random pile of shit coin, and suddenly it's Lambo time. One other crucial thing to look out for, well, Bitcoin needs to consolidate after an uptrend. That's the sweet spot. When Bitcoin runs first and then chills, it frees up liquidity and attention. That's when altcoins can finally have some room to run, a chance to shine and be themselves. Also look at the others chart, or the total market cap excluding the top 10, not the dominance, but the actual market cap of it. Look at the daily EMAs, the 20, the 50, the 100, the 200 right now are acting like a bunch of resistance lines. The good news is once we get the breakout here beyond these key EMAs on the daily, there's a strong chance we're going to see a very violent run up, just like what happened in the last quarter of 2024. Well, it wasn't exactly long-lived. We were expecting something a little bit better than that. Dawn at least gave us some good potential for gains. You had XRP and Chainlink, even Ethereum put in some nice gains during that dog with hat went to the effing moon from $1 to $5, man. It was good times. Didn't last very long though, and by late January, we're already heading down again. Now, before we get into the USDT dominance and other key factors, guys, if you're trading crypto, check out Femex, OG cryptocurrency exchange with deep liquidity, and it's available to literally anyone, anywhere. You can trade with freedom and security, and for a limited time, exclusively when you use my link, you're going to get a VIP level 2 status, which can save you thousands of dollars in fees. That's a 50% reduction on spot trading maker fees, a 40% reduction on futures trading maker fees. That's huge, man. If you're a big trader, if you trade a lot, you know how much that adds up. In addition, there is a $30,000 sign up and deposit bonus. So the more you deposit, the more you trade, the more money Femex is going to put back into your account, up to 30,000 effing dollars, which is crazy. These are crazy deals. It's a limited time offer. Check it out. Link right down here below in the description. So US dollar tether. How many stable coins are floating around and where are they at position in the market? Currently it's in a downtrend, right? So that must mean money's flowing into crypto. Well, sort of. A falling USDT dominance can be a sign that people are moving out of stable coins and back into risk assets, which is obviously bullish on the surface. But like everything in crypto, it's not always quite that simple. See, USDT is a fiat proxy coin, dollar wrapped like piece of candy. That means players can easily convert to fiat when they're exiting out of their crypto bags. Also, Tether can mint new USDT whenever exchanges need liquidity. In fact, right around the time that the bombs were being dropped over Qatar, Tether printed out like $2 billion. Yeah, money's always there, isn't it? Always ready to ape into the fear. Anyway, the dominance chart can be skewed. So sometimes it sees spikes because Binance is reloading or Bitfinex is reloading or the whales or whatever. Other times it drops just because Bitcoin pumped and everything else looks smaller by comparison. That's why USDT dominance is useful, but only as a secondary signal. And here's the kicker. Just because USDT dominance is dropping doesn't mean all that money is currently rushing into altcoins. Right now, Bitcoin is kind of sucking all the air out of the room. That's not gonna last forever though. Yes, we have Bitcoin treasury companies announcing daily and ETF flows and all that sort of stuff. We have new ETFs coming. We have new treasury companies for altcoins specifically. But here's the playbook. USDT dominance starts dipping, Bitcoin blasts off, then it takes a nap. That's when altcoins finally get invited to the party. Bag holders get to pop the champagne and hopefully take profits instead of screenshots. That's what we hope for anyway. Speaking of dominance, let's talk about Bitcoin dominance. The elephant in the room. Basically the chart that shows how much of the total market cap is locked up in just Bitcoin and how screwed your altcoin bags really are. If this chart is going up, it means that Bitcoin is stealing the show, stealing the attention, and stealing, most importantly, the capital inflows. That means money is piling into Bitcoin while everything else, your altcoins, your layer twos, your dog coins, whatever crap you're holding, gets ignored or continually dumped by VCs and insiders without any bid. If it's going down, that usually means altcoins are starting to get some love again. You want to see BTC dominance falling. Right now, Bitcoin dominance is still holding strong, hitting a new cycle high just the other day during the Israel-Iran bullshit, telling us something super important. Liquidity hasn't left the market. It's just being hoarded by Bitcoin. If the conditions of the last altcoin season repeat, what we want to see is dominance falling off a cliff. Every time the Bitcoin dominance drops like a ball, guess what? Altcoins rally. This happened in 2017, happened again in 2021. Pay attention to it. There's also a little known chart that might be one of the most underrated altcoin signals right now. It's called the total 3 minus USDT divided by BTC. Who makes these charts? I don't know, but it's a good one. Let's have a look at it. Sounds like algebra class, man. I suck that algebra. Anyway, here's the deal. Strips out Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins, leaving us with just the real altcoins. Then it compares them directly to Bitcoin. When this chart is rising, altcoins are gaining strength relative to BTC. When it's falling, altcoins are bleeding relative to BTC. Right now, it's down. It's down bad, man. But here's the interesting part. Do you want to buy this high or do you want to buy this low? Because currently it's sitting near historical support levels, the same zone where altcoin season kicked off in 2017 and 2021. We are about maybe 20 to 25% from hitting that support, which maybe is close enough. And if this thing bounces, when this thing bounces, it could be the beginning of the next major rotation into dog coins. So what now? Well, honestly, the charts are telling us that obviously altcoin season's not here yet. You can be accumulating altcoins at this stage, understanding that there are still risks to doing that. Others dominance has not hit support yet. USDT dominance is falling, but altcoins aren't really catching huge bid yet. And again, I say this on the Trump peace pump that's going on, and we are seeing bid for altcoins, but again, you're down 90% instead of 95% on your altcoins. Fuck yeah. Bitcoin dominance remains high, and the total 3 minus USDT. BTC thing, that giant name. Anyway, that oscillator's still bleeding, okay? That means capital's mostly still flowing into the top, into Bitcoin, not into altcoins. But again, that can change real fast. Altcoin ETFs coming. Altcoin treasury companies announcing nearly daily. Historically, the formula for a real altcoin season has been Bitcoin runs first, then Bitcoin consolidates. Now, if Bitcoin runs here, Bitcoin runs from here like 150K, has a massive consolidation, after which or during which altcoins absolutely effing moon. Are we going to have a joyful July after a joyless June? Let's see. When liquidity starts spilling over into altcoins, and it will, okay? It happens simultaneously with others dominance hitting support and Bitcoin dominance rolling over and USDT dominance continuing to fall, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You get this kind of green light happening. But here's the catch. This cycle might be different. You never know. Bitcoin and Ethereum have become such legit Wall Street asking me, Bitcoin only, man? But probably not. In fact, Ethereum as a percentage to compared to market cap, has had relatively similar inflows to Bitcoin. And my guess is when we see Solana and Litecoin and XRP and all this other stuff, it's going to catch big bid as well. It won't be just Bitcoin cycle. It never is, and it's the same every time. It's only going to be Bitcoin this time. See, altcoins are always going to be scams go to zero. Well, that's kind of right for most altcoins and over enough time, yes, but there's a time, there's a moment where money's made. Now, maybe we see shorter mini altcoin seasons where timing and asset selection is even more critical than before. I think asset selection is very critical, and keeping a small number of assets is critical. Maybe the altcoin season of times past is not what's going to repeat in the future, but we'll have bigger liquidity periods where altcoins have bigger moves, and you have to remember to take profits. And I know you want a clear answer. Lark, what's the day and the hour when it's perfect time to buy? If you believe that your altcoin bags are good, if you think you've selected good ones, keep dollar cost averaging in, and just wait for the big liftoff, because it will come. And you have to eat some shit during that time, because you can see big drawdowns, and then you just buy more if you believe in those assets. Or if you stop believing in it, flip it into a different bag. Don't just take the loss, move it from one coin into another, and move on. Catch the upside on something you believe in more. Stay curious, stay flexible, be ready to adapt as things unfold. Most of all, have patience. Sitting on the sidelines waiting for better conditions, that can be a strategy too, but you risk getting left behind real fast. So stay locked in, keep dollar cost averaging into the market, take the long-term view. Sentiment right now on altcoins is generally terrible, but that's the kind of sentiment that usually comes before big things happen. Happens every time. Will this time truly be different? Probably not. Has human greed gone away? No. Will people buy dog coins again? Of course. Will they hit new all-time highs? Not all of them. In fact, not most of your coins. A lot of the altcoins, a lot of the meme coins, they're never coming back, guys. They're already dead. But the bigger stuff, Pepe, Dog with Hat, Solana, whatever, these are all going to new highs. Asset selection is important. So make sure if you're buying something, you're buying things that people are talking about, that has narrative, that has liquidity. Okay? Thanks for watching.